The Mariners looked fantastic for one game, and we are right back where we started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the series analysis episode of the Seattle Baseline Podcast. My name is Julian Smith, and I am running solo today. Man. The first game we came out of the gates hot. We were like, okay, we're gonna beat the Dodgers. We're gonna do it. And then the second game rolls around, and then I think the news came out in the Mariners that Bryan Woo was going to start the third game instead of Bryce Miller. I don't I don't understand the I really don't understand what the thought process was there. You have a guy that's clearly been a top level starting pitcher at home versus not competitive away, and you decide to move him from the home spot to the away spot. Come on. That's that sucked. But um in the first game, home runs were great. And this is it really is I think it's a showing of a home run team where you had all those home runs in the first game, and home runs couldn't really save the Mariners in the second and third game. The Obviously, if you have five home runs, you're going to win the game. That's as long as those aren't five solo shots and you score seven runs, you're probably winning the game. Most teams don't lose if they score seven runs, but you can't rely on that though. Like it's tough because it's yes, scoring seven runs is great, but if that's occasional, you can't rely on scoring seven runs every time. And obviously, even though the Dodgers are one of the best teams in the league, or honestly the best team in the league, they've won two championships in a row. Loss is still a loss, and you're coming out of a Texas Rangers series where you needed you needed to at least tie them to stay with them, and you didn't do that. Mariners just continue to fall every single series, and they need to make a comeback here. I think Mariners have been talking about trading for Mason Miller. How much is that going to save you? It's not going to save your offense. I would love to have Mason Miller. Don't get me wrong. Mason Miller would be a dream come true as a Mariners fan. And like, I think it would be for like, honestly, most of you watching, I think having a guy like Mason Miller would be a dream come true. Having a guy that's like clearly the best at his position. But how much is a relief pitcher really going to help you when the offense doesn't take you to the ninth inning with a lead? If it's a one run lead, yeah, Mason Miller's great. If if this is if the Mariners can get back to the position where they are 2024 Seattle Mariners losing because of one run in relief. Oh yeah, having Andres Munoz not even be the closer, be the eighth inning fireman specialist, and Matt Brash and Mason Miller, that helps a lot. But at this point, Mason Miller, they they should trade for Mason Miller if it's possible. If the trade package lines up, but it shouldn't be their only trade. If it is their only trade, then I think the front office has completely missed what the core issue is with the Seattle Mariners, and that's going to be a real problem. I think I could sit here talking about like Roki Sasaki added a splitter instead of just, but I really don't think that the issue. I said this in the previous episode too. I really don't think the issue is the Dodgers. I think the issue is that the Mariners clearly don't have it right now, especially offensively. And decisions by the coaching staff have not been helping. Moving Bryan Woo from moving Bryan Woo and Bryce Miller around, I don't know what's going on with Bryce Miller, but if you're going to move, if you're going to, if something's going on with Bryce Miller, we need to know because that's going to be an issue. And having to move Brian Wu from home to away, there has to be some sort of serious issue other than we wanted to give him one more day. So, something to watch out for with the series coming up. The Mariners went into this series, and this is the part that really concerns me is that the Mariners went into this series saying we wanted to be more contact heavy. They went and got Brendan Donovan. Obviously, he's injured right now, and that's that's not something that I'm gonna grind down on because obviously injuries are injuries. But they also slowed down their swing. It's worked for Randy Arozarena. Dom Canzone didn't do it, so like whatever he's doing, he's stuck with, and it's working for him. But what happened to the rest of the guys? Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez. Julio Rodriguez has been better with contact, but the power has been almost non-existent this year. And with the team being as home run heavy as it is, having it seems like the team has gotten less contact now and therefore less home runs and then therefore less runs at all. I think the the strategy behind the slow swing, I understand. Like you wanna make the barrel speed a little bit slower and get a little bit more time with the bat in the zone to hit, but taking away the amount of time that the batters get to see the ball before it comes over the plate, I think that's something that actually saps your ability to get contact rather than induces it. And so I think that me personally, I think that strategy is a no go. I don't think that that strategy works. I it's a bummer because Randy Arozarena is playing one of his best seasons right now. Dom Canzone is we did not expect Dom Canzone to be anywhere near as good as he is. He is at the end of last year, he had some shade of it. This year, he has come out to be one of the better DHs in in the league. Honestly, he's been a massive revelation for the Mariners. That's been a huge part of the Mariners staying in this and staying within reach of 500 right now. The Mariners need to get back to 500, and no better way to do that than to face a struggling Twins team. Struggling, kind of, but the Twins have been on the pitching side, they've been struggling. And the part of the pitching staff that the Mariners face this year hasn't been their top 1%. We're not facing Joe Ryan. That's great. That is amazing. That's exactly what we want. The guy that we're facing, who's actually pretty good, is Taj Bradley. He has his season ERA is around 3.5, 3.8 ish, which is okay. But his his last 7 games has been 2.8. That's elite. And so what is he doing? Taj Bradley is the guy that I think the Mariners need to watch out for. But other than that, the pitching staff on the pitching side, the Mariners should be able to honestly destroy these guys with either the home run ball, the contact ball. Mariners need to have a strategy going into the game. The first game, the Mariners did have a strategy. The the Dodgers series, I thought that first game, it's sucks to say this now because we just lost the series, but in the first game, it seemed like the Mariners had against Justin Robleski. The Mariners said, "Hey, this guy is gonna throw strikes. He's gonna be like George Kirby. We're going to if he pounds the strike zone, ball is gone." I thought that was really awesome. The way that the Mariners structured that strategy. Cal Raleigh hitting the homer was kind of like last year where the 7, 8, 9 hitters forced the pitcher to move more into the strike zone, and Cal Raleigh would hit it out of the ballpark. 60 homer season for Cal last year. I felt like there was a shade of that with Justin Robleski. His strategy kind of played into what the Mariners last year were like. And the obviously not all pitchers are like that, and it's going to be tough for the Mariners to find pitchers like that. But even though he was one of the Dodgers' best pitchers up to this point, it felt like his strategy, the weakness to his strategy was the way that the Mariners play, and so that was something that the Mariners exploited, and they need to find a way to make pitchers do that like they did last year. The first two pitchers the Mariners face, let me pull up their names real quick. Uh there it is. All right. Zebby Matthews, he hasn't been good all season. You've got Connor Prielip, kind of like the Washington City Puyallup, but like Prielip kind of. Um he's been getting better, but not as much. These two guys, the first two games, the Mariners should be able to win, and that's if if the Mariners can win the first two games and win the series, I think the Mariners do have a chance at winning against Taj Bradley. Taj Bradley is the third guy that the Mariners face. This is the tough one. This is the one guy that I think on the pitching side could beat the Mariners. And the reason for that is because his fastball and his off speed combo is extremely movement heavy. He's not as good of a strike thrower as most of the Mariners pitching is, but he doesn't need to throw strikes. When you have pitches that move so much in like the last second, hitters are going to swing. And so that's what Taj Bradley likes to do. If the Mariners can stay patient, that's the one thing. This is more the Mariners should command the zone. They should take control of the zone. They should foul off the pitches. They should watch the pitches sail. It should not be, hey, oh, I see slider. Okay, let's swing at the slider. Okay, I see fastball up top rail. I'm going to swing at the fastball. It should be, I'm looking for a fastball. If it's a slider, I might swing over it. That's fine. But if the fastball comes exactly where I want, ball is gone. The strategy needs to be there. They need to command the zone. If the Mariners are passive, then Taj Bradley is just going to move into the zone, and all of a sudden, the Mariners need to adjust. That probably plays more into what the Mariners want, but at the same time, you don't want Taj Bradley to take control of the zone, and so the Mariners need to make sure that they have full control of what is going on. Where is the strike zone? Where do I want to swing? Where is the exact pitch that I'm going to hit out of the ballpark? The Mariners can do that. I think that they can win the series. This Twins series is where the Mariners should fight back and get back to 500, get back to over 500, go to the playoffs, win the World Series. That's still the Mariners' goal. And if they're looking to do that, then especially with the trade deadline looming, it's becoming really, really important that the Mariners can have hope for winning. And I think that they should. I said this right before the Giants series. I think that they should go get Luis Ariz. I think maybe it's time Colt Emerson goes back down to the minors and trains a little bit more now that he's seen the major league pitching, now that he has an idea of what that looks like, kind of what Cole Young did last year. Maybe it's time that we switch it up a little bit. Like Mason Miller would be an awesome addition. The Mariners have all of these avenues. The trade deadline is lining up, honestly, in the most Mariners favored way possible. More than last year, more than Naylor and Suarez last year. The Mariners have the trade deadline lined up for them. And I think that it's time now that the Mariners start executing, and the Twins are an awesome place to start. Let us know what you guys think. I love seeing your comments. So I wanna see as many comments as you guys can put there, as many thoughts. I love reading them. And yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and our beautiful faces on YouTube. Check out our Instagram. And as always, go Mariners.